Few days ago on International Yoga Day, my daughter looked at me and asked, "Mama, why is International Yoga Day celebrated on 21st June? I smiled because I realized this is probably a question many children have and maybe many adults too. So instead of giving her a quick answer, I said, "Come, let's discover the story together." And she asked, "What's so special about 21st June? So I told her, it's the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. The sun stays with us little longer than on any other day, but that's only the beginning of the story." And she asked, "How did people know all this so long ago?" So I said, before books, before clocks, before calendars, people learned from nature. The ancient yogi observed the sun, moon, stars, rivers, season, and nature was their greatest teacher, and nature is our greatest teacher. She listened carefully and asked, "What happened after the longest day?" Then I said, "After 21st June, nature begins a new cycle across the northern hemisphere. The days slowly begin to grow shorter." And then she asked, "Does everyone on the earth experience the same thing?" I smiled and say, "No, that's the amazing part. At the very same moment, people living in the southern hemisphere experience the opposite. Their days begin getting longer. One sun, one earth, one moment, but two different experiences." And she looked surprised. "How can that happen?" Then I replied, "Because it all depends on where you are. The sun is the same, only the perspective changes. And yoga teaches us exactly the same thing. And sometimes life doesn't changes, our perspective changes." Then she said, "Is that what Dakshinayan mean?" So I told her earlier, and I said, in the yogic tradition, yes, the ancient sages didn't just observe the sky. They asked, if nature changes outside, does something also changes within us? It's an Ayurvedic concept. They believed this was a beautiful time to slow down, reflect, and turn inward. So she thought for a moment and asked, "So was it only about astronomy?" I smiled again. "No, astronomy explained what happens. The yogic explored what it means. They connected nature, the body, breath and mind, and our awareness." Then came her last question. "So, is that why we celebrate Yoga Day?" I said, "Yes, because yoga is much more than stretching or doing poses. It's about learning from nature, living in harmony with its rhythm, and discovering ourselves." She smiled, looked at the sun, and quietly said, "Now I understand, Mama." But then she asked me another question, one that made me stop and think. If the ancient yogis learned so much just by observing nature, what exactly did they discover? And that's where the real journey begins. In the next reel, we will explore the deeper yogic